And there we have it. Welcome to another episode of the Baxter Effect Podcast. Your host, John Baxter. And what we're going to get after today, and we're going to get on it quickly and with force. You know, we're going to talk about, and I do have Sean Callahan here, special guest. Hey, Sean, how's it going?
John, great to see you again as always, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I've been so excited for this show with you. Not only are you a medbed pioneer, we were there at the very beginning, putting together real pieces of technology, like the piece behind you. And when no one had anything, and you know my favorite term, no one had two boards nailed together, yet everyone was marketing a medbed. We actually had something substantial to change healthcare many years ago, and it's come to our attention over the last 3, 4, 5 years, being pioneers in this field and helping tens and tens of thousands of people, guys. You wouldn't believe how many real, true testimonials, outcomes, you name it. We've been featured in New York Times, to Inside Edition, to every major place, been to every major show as lead sponsors. You know, we've seen and done it all with hands-on approach. But I got to tell you, Sean, there are people out to get us, haters, foreign interest, that have not only stolen our story, but have done so much more. And I think people, if you guys are watching this, I definitely need you to comment, like, share, get the message out. Get the message out, because we want to see your comments below, because I want to know what's going on. What do you feel, Sean?
John, thank you so much for the intro. And I'm going to jump into that with you. But before I do that, I want to just give you the proper introduction, because as you said, you were the groundbreaking pioneer in this industry. And you basically took me under your wing. This has been 5, 6 years ago now. But the beautiful thing, John, is that there are documented testimonials by the tens of thousands now. And I remember those early days coming down to Orlando, and you opened up your doors to the public and said, come one, come all, and come embrace this technology and come use it at no charge. And there was thousands and thousands. I remember when for some of the first trips, there was 30, 35, 40 people a day coming through that facility. And they were using all the most advanced technology. And you were basically documenting and giving people free access to this technology, because ultimately, when it's all said and done, as much as we all like to talk technology, and as much as we love physics and science and all those things, when it's all said and done, are people actually really getting benefit from the technology that's out there now? And the absolute definite answer is yes. And now it's not me, it's not you, it's tens of thousands of people, miraculous stories, quite frankly. I mean, a lot of them are documented, because you remember, I think it was Calvin, the gentleman that came in that hadn't walked in 10 years, and he comes out of the bathroom running. Everybody's thinking, oh my God, the guy's going to fall. He hadn't run in over 10 years. Stories like that, where he, and John, it was layers of amazing technology, Tesla tech. You were really, and still are, the groundbreaking pioneer of all that. And so for us, it's always been lead from the heart, right? We lead from the heart. We want to do well in the world. And surely, hopefully, this will become a financial boom for all of us. But right now, we do it from the heart. And we're the ones that are out there taking the beatings for the people that, are putting out tech that really isn't necessarily legit. And in this case, what we're going to get into today are people that are stealing your video clips. They're stealing my video clips. And what they're doing is they're basically advertising fake med beds and stealing money from people and giving them false hope and false promises. And I think that that's not only so criminal on so many levels, but I know that people are calling you and they're calling us saying, hey, we sent this money off to these med beds. So I'll pass it back to you, and you can go ahead and, maybe we can get into it more detail and start talking about what we're hearing and what we're seeing.
Thank you so much, Sean. You heard it from Sean himself. He's been out there helping people, making so many miraculous. It's not even miracles anymore. At the beginning, it appeared to be major miracles, and they are. But it's an everyday thing. This is an everyday thing for us. And we have foreign interests. We have a foreign criminal organization. A foreign criminal organization. You ever hear one of these before? Her name is Skye, Skye, Prince. Her name is Skye Prince. So why does she use this name, Skye Prince? And why does she talk about med beds? And why doesn't she have a med bed? But why is she posting fake accounts with me? This criminal organization in Australia, Skye Prince, if you're listening, give us your real name. Because you can't go by Skye Prince. You can't give them your real name because everyone would find out that you are part of not only of frauds your whole life, but you're part of a criminal organization. And not only is every one of my friends and everyone that's connected going to send this video out to the masses worldwide, we're going to call you out, Skye Prince. We're going to find out who your name is. You're creating fake, and I've talked to Charlie Ward, Sasha Stone. Everyone is getting a fake profile made with my profile, one of these famous podcasters' profile, and you're asking for money as them. Skye Prince, give us your real location. Give us your name. Stop putting out all these lies about med beds are coming from the military. Sean, how many times do we have to call out to say this Skye Prince doesn't have anything to do? She's from Australia. She's saying that military med beds are coming out. So it's gotten that deep where everyone says, oh, is it a military med bed? Why? Because Skye Prince, the fraud, told you this? You guys allow this fraudster to get this information out like that? And all she's done, I already had 2 people today that were scammed out of $300 each, fake profiles. What do you have to say, Skye Prince? We're going to get this message to you, and we're going to find out who you are, and everyone's going to expose Skye Prince, also this thing called Tesla Biohealer. We're going to expose these people because everyone in this community is trying to figure out why you're taking people's money, offering fake med beds, and why you continue to create fake profiles. I have to block around 10 profiles a day because you're latching on to all my social media. You're in the comments saying free med bed with my picture with a fake profile. This shit has to end. And it's very sad for all the people out there that deserve healing. But this fraud named Skye Prince, she needs to go down, Sean.
And John, what they're doing with us is they're taking clips of our channel with our actual people, including the Celestial Chamber that's technology from you. And they're basically saying that these are the free government med beds. And then what they're doing is they're baiting people in saying you need to register. It's a $300 registration fee. And then they're asking for some very, just some really creepy ways to pay them through Bitcoin, or, they're doing it through ways that are untraceable. And I think, John, what's most to me, what's just absolutely disgusting is they're actually taking very sick people that need real technology right now, giving them fake information and stealing money from them. And it's bad enough that you're taking the money, but when these people call up and they tell me what their health situation is and that they're so desperate to get into the med bed, and then I find out that they've sent the money to Skye Prince because, as people know with John and myself, you set an appointment, you can come on in, and we're more than happy to have you use the technology. John, I don't know if I told you, but there's a show that's on Discovery Channel that has to do with Blind Frog Ranch, which is a ranch out in Utah. It's a TV show that's been on, and we recently had one of the cast members that was not doing very well come visit us. And these are the people that are really experiencing the real deal. These are people coming in from all over the country. I had Doctor and his apprentice here from Australia literally 2 weeks ago, flew 36 hours to come and to be able to spend time and use this technology. And the technology is the pinnacle technology that's out there right now. So to be stealing John's image, to be stealing John's name, to be stealing our information from our channel and from our podcasts, and then touting it as if it's your technology, and then telling people that these are the free government med beds and that they have to pay you in order to do it, to me, is just on so many levels of ethics and everything else, absolutely disgusting.
And why are people listening to Skye Prince? First of all, she's a girl. Last I checked, Prince means man. Why is she? Why are people listening to her? She posted a picture of an MRI machine and called it a med bed. And then she's out there. She doesn't have the two boards even nailed together. She's taking these people's money. She's not even delivering whatsoever. She's using our image. We will find you. We will find you, Skye Prince. And not only will I find you, the entire truther community is going to find you too. That whole channel called Rumble, we're all looking for you, Skye Prince. Give us your real name. Ask Skye Prince her real name. And why is everyone listening to her? Everyone thinks military med beds are free because they listen to this idiot lady that's a fraudster. Why do we have to deal with this? Why can't you just stop with your fraud? Like, I actually talked to some major names, Sasha Stone and Charlie Ward, and they did a whole show on her. Why are all these scammers utilizing other people's profiles to take money, and then they don't look back at her, they look back at us. So the reality is, like, Skye Prince, just give us your real name so that you can be exposed. Give us your real name, Skye Prince, so you can be exposed. And everyone that listens to her, like, you guys listen to her like she has something. She's never had anything. She's been doing this. She's been having people listening to her that had no idea about med beds. You're looking at one of the pioneers of med beds, if not the original. Guess what, guys? My patent started in 2013. And these are healing types of beds. Another one in 2014. Many patent pendings. The reality is like med beds weren't even spoken about until 2020. And we were on Charlie Ward's show. It brought up med beds. The original guy that spoke about med beds. And yet we're here still. People respond to me like they know the truth about med beds because a fraudster named Skye Prince said military med beds are going to be for free. Let me tell you, no one's getting a military med bed for free. Listen how stupid that sounds. Is someone going to drop $1 million piece of technology in your home for free? I mean, people got to wake up and stop being so gullible. No one's dropping $1 million med bed in your home for free. So stop with the stupid questions. Like, this is just so painful to discuss because why am I even having to explain this? Because some fraudster told you military med beds are for free? What's your take, Sean?
Yeah. So John, you know what the sad part is with somebody like Skye Prince? If she just spent the same amount of time being legit and said, like with me and you, I want to know what's out there. I want to push technology. I want to source the smartest people, the best tech, and I want to provide it to people, she'd be with us on this podcast. But she's decided that she wants to take the medbed information and turn it into a way to steal. And the saddest part about criminals and criminal mentality is that the people actually, if they spent the same amount of time trying to be legit, they would have made triple or quadruple the amount of money, and they'd have something in their heart that really showed that they're doing the right thing and they're on the right path, right? And so for me, number one, the first thing I say is, that's the first thing. Now, I followed some of her stuff. I haven't watched it lately. The last video I saw was her saying, I've got this government source. The med beds are being released. They are here, but they can't tell us who they are. And I said, okay, now I know we're in the total land of BS, because if the government's coming out and they're going to say it, they're not hiding behind a dark screen or trying to pretend that they don't know who they are. And when it comes to the medbed tech, I want to just I want to just address that in a general term so people can really understand what this is about. John, some of the best technology that we've got right now is technology from Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla, obviously a brilliant gentleman, produced some amazing technology. You've got a lot of it. You've passed a lot of it on to me. And the main thing that we want to emphasize is that this is real life technology that's being used right now from everyday people. And John, just like you, I'm getting people every day coming in and getting amazing results using this technology. And as the technology's developed, you've been there and have said, okay, this is a new advancement, this is a new tech, this is new healing modalities that are out there, which primarily are energy and frequency-based technology. Now, just for definition, for anybody that lacks normal human intelligence, because there's a small segment of people out there that have very little. When it comes to a government med bed, let's be very clear. The government doesn't make anything. The government doesn't make anything. They don't even make the flippin' stamps that go on your post office stuff. The government hires private contractors to make everything. They make their airplanes, they make their tanks, they make their missiles. The government doesn't produce shit. So anybody that's out there thinking the government med beds, no, they're the med beds being made by private contractors. Now let's talk about private contractors. They've got a lot of scientists in these facilities, and they don't always become lifers in that group of where they're working. Those people are highly intelligent scientists, physicists, and guess what? They can say, you know what? This was a great job. I want to go pursue my own dreams. I want to produce some wellness technology, and I'm going to go out there and do it. And I've got enough of a background working within these government contracted agencies that I think I can go out there and put out some pretty good technology. And in many cases, they're picking up the work of Nikola Tesla. Now, there's documented case studies from Tesla, from Royal Rife, from Georges Lakhovsky, that these guys were doing miraculous things with energy and frequency-based technology. So to think that all of a sudden a med bed needs to come around to do things, clearly the problem is we don't know our own history. Because if you research the history and you knew the results that these people were getting, and you can go to the Lakhovsky website, LAKHOVSKY.com, where they've documented all the case studies of Georges Lakhovsky with the multi-wave oscillator. There's documented testimonials and over 5,000 case studies with Antoine Prairie, who in the 60s and 70s worked with the French government using plasma technology. And John, that's some of the technology that you've provided us that we also work with. Over 5,000 documented case studies. Now, as technology evolves, it gets better, right? It's just natural. And scientists come into the mix and say, wow, let's look at the notes that Tesla had. Let's see what Antoine Prairie was doing. Let's look at Lakhovsky, and how can we improve on their work? When we look at our lifetime, say we live 100 years and maybe 40, 50 of those years are actually in our prime. We're really doing our best work. These guys were all knocking it out of the park, and this technology is available right now. So for anybody that's out there that says free government med bed, I need to wait, go ahead and wait. But let me just give you some information. Free energy, that's been around for over 100 years, and I'm still paying an electric bill. Gas running cars that can run on water, that's been around for at least 40 years, and I'm still now paying X amount when I go fill up my car. So if you want to wait for the free train to come and you want a free handout from the government, I'm all for it, because there's a lot of people that's their mentality is, poverty-based mentality. But when it comes to getting access to technology and you want it now and you want some of the most powerful technology on the planet Earth, we're using it and we're not charging for it. Do we sell products? Yes, we do. But do we make the technology accessible where anybody can come in and use it? We absolutely do. So we're not out right now to say, oh, well, you've got to come pay to use our technology. No. But if you want a piece of technology for your wellness center, if you want a piece of tech for your home studio, and it doesn't have to be expensive. John, some of the most powerful technology, which you've talked about, that's patented technology, is the grounding technology. And when you get into the grounding technology, let's just talk about a couple things there. First off, according to the World Health Organization, over 80% of the world's population dies from some type of inflammation-related disease, over 80%. So if we wanted to start off first with a technology that could reduce inflammation and basically bring people back to a healthy standard, the grounding would certainly be the most important thing. John, the technology that you produce, and I've seen a lot of it, 40% of the surface of the material is silver. And it's not a filament, it's a coiled silver. For old people like me, there was a slinky that used to be a toy. It's a slinky that's it, right. So when you push and strand it, you say, where's the beef, right? Because in my age group, there was a Wendy's commercial where this little old lady would pull up this hamburger and it was all bun. And then you pull up the bun and there's this little tiny burger and she'd say, where's the beef? The majority of the technology that I see that's out there, I don't see any raw material in it whatsoever. And that's not saying anything other than we want to produce, John, you produce the highest quality. And then that's not enough. Then you put the nanotechnology with amethyst, tourmaline, all the crystal, and now you're also getting infrared. And this is very affordable technology that the everyday person can use. A few of the core benefits, and I'm going to throw this back to you, John, because I don't want to take off too far, but you start grounding every night. Number one, deeper REM sleep, better rest, less anxiety, less depression. Number two, it starts to decluster your blood. Your blood starts clumping and clustering when you're not grounding. And so if you're running a car with dirty motor oil, you're running your body with dirty blood. And that's really because you're not getting the time you need to put your feet on the ground and start doing that. So as you know, when it comes to arthritis, when it comes to stiffness, soreness, you build up these free radical cells in the body. They cause a lot of inflammation, a lot of soreness, arthritis, all these different things, anxiety, not sleeping well. You get one or two small pieces of technology, and the next thing you know, you're reducing all these symptoms and you're feeling and living a healthier life. And are there times where you might need stuff more powerful? Sure there are, but there's so much that's being made available. And John, like you said, you get the people out there like Skye Prince that's basically stealing your videos, stealing my videos, and then telling people and false promising them, and then taking their money. And these are people that are like terminal patients that are very sick. And thank God for Charlie. And the beautiful part about Charlie also is that Charlie's been to Orlando and Charlie has seen and used the technology. And Charlie has seen and met the people that have used the technology. So when we're talking about this stuff, we can get into the physics 100%. But let's talk about the tens of thousands of documented studies of people using the tech that have gotten amazing results. It's available right now without any need from the government, without any need for a free med bed to come out. Technology right now that you can get your hands on that'll help you start living a happier, healthier life in this very present moment.
Well said, Sean. We're going to cover this in detail, guys. This is one of the exciting podcasts where we're calling people out. Please like, share, comment now. Let's make sure Skye Princess, Prince, that's, a woman. Let's make sure she hears about this because we want to know her real name. We want to know what she has. We want to see a real video of what she's created because the fraud has got to end. And to bring it on a positive note, Sean's absolutely right. Without grounding, there is no med bed. Without grounding, look at your whole electrical grid. You have a ground wire. Did you know without the ground wire, there is no electrical grid that we could use every day? So if you're talking about med bed and frequency medicine and Tesla, what Sean was talking about, realize without the grounding component, that's the foundation to the whole system because you can discharge what the voltage is. You can discharge the EMFs and the 5G. You can also discharge a lot of the good voltage too. You need this counteractive balance that's going on. We got to bring our bodies back into balance. And the reality is, like I said, patents don't lie. Charlie Ward was the original guy that brought up with Simon Parks med beds. We've been on his show. We were the first ones on there. And you think ask a veteran in the United States how well they're being treated by the government. And to think that as a non-veteran that you're going to be treated better, you are so wrong. When's the last time they did anything? Very rarely did they do anything. They act like giving you $1,000 back is going to hurt their back when they printed money that was free anyways. So we see the fraud going on in Minnesota. We see the fraud going on with Skye Prince. It's it's very much a organized crime system. There's an endless amount of people creating social profiles and an endless amount of people. So I'm looking for comments from people that got screwed over. I already received 2 of them today. That's why I'm so passionate. If you've been screwed over by Skye Prince and you spent the money and maybe it was someone's different profile, it wasn't even hers, did this happen to you? Because what we're seeing is it's happened to thousands and thousands of people. I'm not the only one complaining. I'm just the one that's going to do something about it. And as Sean said, patents don't lie. The scoreboard doesn't lie. We were the first to offer this for free. In fact, we were offering it. Remember when there was 40 people every day at our location for years? We did it all for free. So the reality is like, where does the concept that military med beds are going to come for free? Well, I think we're a part of that because giving away over $5 million at this point, it was the right thing to do. We were blessed beyond belief. Why not help our average community and friend? We had the real passion for healing. I have my own pain to purpose story. That's why people know me. I had to heal myself before I could help anyone else. And without that, there wouldn't be over 80 technologies. We wouldn't have cared about grounding. So you got to realize I need you guys to stand up for this and stand up for health. I'm sick of third world countries dictating the message here in the United States. I don't care about those fraudsters, but I care enough to stop the fraud. So, look up Skye Prince. Ask her what her real name is. We're going to get to the bottom of this. I've got worldwide podcasters that we're going to share and like this podcast too. And we're going to get to the bottom of it. I'm not going to allow one more person to be scammed out of $300+ saying that there's a military med bed and this is the registration. So this is just not going to, this is going to end today. This is this is going to be disastrous for her. She needs to be called out. And I don't care, like literally, if you're quantum, if you're metaphysical, or this or that, this is the right thing to do. You call out the bully. You call out the person that's screwing over people. You know what? How would this feel if your own parent had a chronic health disease and they needed to use the technology and Skye Prince stole the money from your parents? What would you do? You'd be irate. There's only a few places to get this. Antiagingbed.com, usmedbed.com. If you see Backstar, that's our manufacturing. So realize you can reach out to us. If you want to get a real medbed appointment, reach out to antiagingbed.com, usamedbed.com. Like these are the places. One's in the Northeast and centralized. We're in Florida. Get your medbed appointment today, a real one, for free. You got to schedule it, but it's for free, and you will learn so much. This whole futuristic healthcare system, we already had the answers that people are still trying to scratch their heads on. We lapped everyone. If this was a race for mankind, I think we lapped people probably 7 to 10 times. The stuff that you see out there is just one piece of the puzzle. There's no silver bullet, folks. That's why we have 80 technologies. We have a longevity circuit. You spend time here, you get all your data. Data doesn't lie and the scoreboard doesn't lie. Once you get all the data, you go through the longevity circuit. Sean and I have multiple machines that we'll put you through. Guess what? We can even scan you afterwards to show you your improvement of what you got better on, what you got worse on. How much further are we along than the current healthcare system? We've lapped them so many times. Ours is based in reality. Theirs is based on symptoms and masking and faking the symptoms. Ours are based on the body is electric and it's a signaling system. We get your systems back online by enhancing the forces of nature. That light therapy, yeah, it's a light, but it's a specific light. That's a force of nature that we've altered and made stronger and better. We've used oxygen, hydrogen, grounding, frequencies that God made. We only figured out how to measure them. So you realize when we can actually measure and alter this, and not to mention take the AI, it's got to be a cohesive understanding that AI is a part of the future. Because honestly, the AI, not the cabal AI, not the AI that tells you need to do things you don't need to do. I'm talking about holistic AI that breaks down the reality of the situation. And like I said, if you never had a silver spoon in your mouth or eaten off a silver platter, guess what, guys? For free, we'll put a silver spoon in your mouth. We'll put a silver platter with your information on to show you exactly what's going on. We've done this so long. Put us against anyone. Measure our system versus the current healthcare system. Side by side, you guys will be blown away because, one is called, we have the Truth Foundation. This little mix right here, it's the Truth Foundation. What do you got in this other system? Well, I would say you have a system that's more aligned with charging you and not taking care of the core root issue. So you be the judge. I'm not here to tell you anything. You research it on your own. But what I'm here to tell you is the truth that what we've been working on, not only it's much bigger than either one of us. This is an important, revolutionary, call it America first. The best stuff is made in America. Why? We have the freedom and the passion to do it. These other countries, they hate us sometimes because we actually had the freedom and the passion to do something about it. And that's what we did. If we don't have that, there would be no Elon Musk creating things. This is the type of mentality, the entrepreneurial spirit, where you have a problem and you find a solution. And they say, well, Sean or Baxter, how'd you get here? It was a very arduous road, inch by inch. I got here inch by inch. You stack up a couple inches, you stack up a couple days, a couple months, a couple decades. That is how we got here. Oh, every doctor nowadays seems to want to join our team because we're doing what they signed up to truly do anyways. So we give them the tools. And it's a great feeling.
And John, being that I'm still in the medical industry, yesterday actually with a doctor who's a cardiologist here in the States, originally from Nigeria, setting up a surgery center, cardiology surgery center in Nigeria. And we just had actually the health minister from Nigeria here last weekend in this pod and actually using this technology. And initially they're coming to us to help them equip hospitals and get the state-of-the-art wellness technology or medical technology for surgery centers, operating rooms, and all their medical. And we do this in Nigeria. We're doing it in Ghana. We're doing it in Senegal, Kenya. We just sent a bunch of stuff down to Mexico. We're helping build a new hospital right now in Ecuador. But when people come in and they see that the future is energy and frequency-based technology, they want a piece of that too. And that's not saying that in the medical world, there's not still a need for true medical technology when it comes to trauma, car accidents, broken bones. There's always going to be things that, when you're going into sort of an immediate situation that has to be resolved, you're going to say, okay, that's going to be our first part, but then we can use a lot of this alternative technology, wellness technology. And so they're embracing it. And this technology now is finding it. And so I'm working with a lot of doctors, a lot of them here in the States that are using this type of technology for physical therapy. They're using the technology for recovery. John, I know you do, and I do too. I work with a lot of stroke recovery people recovering that are partially paralyzed. Another great story was Uncle Bill. Uncle Bill, back years ago, comes in with a walker, can barely move, and 3 months later, the guy's walking around. You never knew he even had a stroke. And as embarrassing as this is to say, John, Uncle Bill, I think, was in his 70s. I was in my early 50s or somewhere in there, and he was in better shape than I was. He was actually doing 3 10-minute sessions a day on the Tesla shaker machine, which is, I mean, that thing's is an amazing piece of tech. It's a very it's a lot of physical endeavor to be put on that. But he was ability, and they use that, as you know, John, for Olympic athletes to improve muscle growth, and it's really good for your leg strength. So many different things, but all these documented testimonials of actual people using real tech. People say there's not the real med beds. Well, tell me what that is, because the real med bed stuff is plasma based energy. You're working with plasma, you've got plasma based energy. And it's like, okay. And the people saying that lack knowledge and education, because they don't even know what med bed actually means. It's an energy and frequency based piece of technology, and multiple different pieces of tech can run different types of modalities. And so therefore, you've got all these different pieces of tech that are available. And, for us right now to be able to have access to that and to be able to provide it people is a true blessing.
Yeah, for sure, Sean. Way to put it. And you're here, Sean. We're doing stuff worldwide. This is not just, you're not going to change the world hanging out in the United States, but this is where it started, and the people need to respect that and know that. And so, if you are an American and you are in the United States, this is America first technology. Prior to even hearing that word America first, like there is so many pioneers in health, but there's also just so many pioneers in technology. I mean, Henry Ford, we created the automobile here. We created the airplane here. We created the most sophisticated advanced technologies in America. And this is no different. This is the quintessential need to further our evolution, right? Because we going to be stuck in this rudimentary type of health technology? Didn't we not just go through COVID? Was that just not a practice to see if you were going to be compliant or not? They put the mask on right before the TV was lit on. They didn't wear a mask until it was on TV and you watched it. So the reality is it was a fake pandemic, and it's pretty obvious that there's a lack of trust and understanding in the system, because it was a system to make money. It was a system to utilize and take advantage of people. And the reality is that our intentions here are clean, concise. We know that this type of technology has literally no side effects for the most part. And with all these testimonials, people could never do what they're doing now with the current healthcare system, because it's not designed. It's a different system. The current system will look at your symptoms and cover them up in such a way that you need more medications to cover up other symptoms, where frequency medicine is just straightforward. Everything's measurable. Every frequency offered is a known frequency. This is not us juggling and gambling. That's what the current system's already done. We're actually here to put bullseyes and targets, to give you solutions to find the accurate issues, and so that you can get from point A to point Z. Guess what? Last I checked, that no one likes to suffer. We heard Jesus to Buddha to say end suffering. We look at our pets and our animals. We don't want them to suffer either. And guess what? They don't want to suffer either. So doesn't it make sense to put together a system that on a local level, on a community level, on a family level, is to end the suffering that's going on? And I think that's where the passion is, because honestly, it would have never got here if we didn't have suffering. So with suffering, we realized how to end this suffering. And we've done a great job with a lot of dedicated individuals. So this team has become massive. There's over 5,000 people on our team now. There's also over 100 people that are doing, more of the distributorship. And it's gone worldwide, and it's only going to get bigger and better. So, just to keep it along the lines, Sean, of what we originally started, is there any last things we want to cover to just put the nail in the coffin? Because I feel like we should do this every day almost until people start waking up.
Yeah, John, 100%. So I would just say, I just want to circle back to one point that you made, and then we'll finish it off with that. But the other thing that I love, John, is about the scanning technology, the Baxter BioScan. that gentleman that just came in, that's a very well-known person that's on a very popular TV show, we did a before and after. And when we first went in, we saw data that showed what we're actually where the person was, every internal organ, every part of their body. 5 days later, they stayed with us for 5 days. They came in for 5 days straight. And on the fifth day, we ran the scan again and we showed tangible data improvement, a real baseline, a real starting point. Like, this isn't about, hey, did you feel anything? We're way past that. This is tangible data that's showing real improvement and giving us the insight to know what is going to be the best way to provide what technology, what frequency sets for these individual people. So that's really important. The second thing that I want to say is that if anybody out there, I have a screenshot still with Skye Prince's video that said the free med beds or the government med beds are here, which is completely false. If you see that, please speak out. Please identify that. And if anybody out there has a question, if a med bed is real or if it's a real deal, call John or call me. And John, I'll give him your number, my number. But please do not send any money to anybody touting a free government med bed or anybody that's asking money for you to register. If you have questions, please call us. And John, I can give him your number and mine if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay, so you can reach John at 1-800-385-4243. Again, that's 800-385-4243. Or you can call me at 804-495-0770. And we will be more than happy to say, if address any concern you have, to say if it's legit or not. And if you're seeing it somewhere, let us know where you're seeing it so we can start documenting this and start stomping it out. Because as I said, a lot of these Skye Prince videos that are coming off that Skye Prince channel are stealing they're stealing videos from people coming out of the celestial pod, and they're touting that as if it's their technology, which is just absolutely wrong. So if there's a way that we can start tracking that, and if you have questions, or if you say, hey, I'm in Arizona or Wyoming or wherever, John has got wellness centers scattered all over the country. Some of these people are trying to run a business, and so they're not always going to be free. But if you really need tech and you want legitimate technology that's actually producing real-time results, call John. Call the 1-800-385-4243. Get in touch with somebody. Find out if what you're seeing is actually legit. Let them know that you're seeing the fake stuff that's on there, and put out comments and let them know that, hey, you know what, we don't appreciate this, because as they start getting backlash, and if we start catching these videos quicker and we can get them off the internet, the better. But the last thing that John wants to see, the last thing I want to see, are people in need, people that have health conditions being falsely misled, having their money stolen. I hate to say this, John, but a lot of these people that I'm talking to are elderly, seniors. They're people in their 70s, 80s, and even older. And they're really desperate for a solution, and they're seeing this, and they're trusting. The older generation of people was a very trusting and a very honest generation of people, and unfortunately, there's people out there like Skye Prince in this channel that are not. And the last thing I want to say is that I find it despicable that she claims to be a member of the SSP, because it's a disgrace to all the people in those programs that went through what they went through, to have a scumbag like her come out and say that I'm an SSP person, and that my job now is to basically mislead, cheat, and steal. So with all that being said, John, I'll throw it back to you for our final words of wisdom.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sean. Wise words, and it's really sad. I mean, I could read off, just excerpt after excerpt of people that said, I paid this money, I got taken advantage of, and that needs to end. And if you see Skye Prince or any of these medbed forums on Telegram, on Facebook, you need to report it, because those are our photos, and I've been trying to report our photos, and they call themselves now Military Medbed with all of our photos. It's very sad, and they're convincing people to spend money. And as much personal responsibility as I have taken over the years, we have tried to take these people out. But the sad thing is, once they're in a different country, it's very difficult to remove them because they're not giving us their real name. So what I ask is to go to Skye Princess's Facebook page and ask her for her real name so that you don't think that we're just playing games. Skye Prince, what's your real name? We want to know where you're at because there's only a couple thousand people looking to get their money back. And I'll take responsibility for them. I'll help fight their war because what you're doing is wrong. You are not a part of an international space organization. You are not a part of the military, and you're just a lying fraudster that's part of a larger criminal organization stealing people's money. So I know that's a lot, guys. I appreciate your patience with us to get through this today. And what I can say is that, we are not going to give up this fight. We're going to keep charging forward. I wanted to thank my good friend Sean here, MedBed Pioneer. We are out there fighting the good fight. Like he said, you want to reach out to us if you want a real free MedBed demonstration. You want to try it. You want to see it. We've done this for over 5 years, so for us, it's a walk in the park. Be very careful. Anyone using my name or a truther's name that's asking for money and asking for information, stop right there. I would like to say, we've been running about a good 45 minutes here, and I'd like to have Sean back on here. We've done a couple podcasts before, and we're going to continue covering this. Like, we already have so much good stuff that, we're bringing up some of this stuff, but it actually is necessary to bring up this. But also be so that you know the truth. If you know the truth, it'll set you free. And if you've been hearing lies and issues about I'm waiting to help myself because I'm waiting on a military med bed, if I hear you say that, it's because this lady who is scamming people. So if you hear that, I'm waiting for who said that? Can you cite your sources? You won't be able to because the person that cited the sources is using a fake alias name. So ask her for her name. Let's get to the bottom of it. And I'd like to say thank you guys so much for the support and love. Sean and I, any last words of wisdom, Sean?
Say, John, if for any reason there is a duplicate Skye Prince and there's two of them out there and there's a good one and a bad one and somebody's stealing and the real Skye Prince wants to come on and talk about this or defend or say, look, I'm being had, I'm open to that. So if there's anything that we've said that for whatever reason we got it wrong and you really are legit and somebody's stealing your information, I would love to give you that floor. Me and John would bring you on and you could describe or talk about, maybe there, but as of right now, unless you stand up and you start putting podcasts out there saying beware of the fake and you start putting out the same information that me and John are on your channel to protect those people, maybe they're stealing your likeness like they steal ours and maybe there's some issue there. So if you want to say, hey, I want to be a part to start, put my name out there and let people know they're stealing it, start first with a video on your channel because I've got your channel screenshotted where I'm seeing you talk about the free government med beds that have been released, which is an absolute sham and a disgrace. But if for any reason we got this wrong, or if for any reason there's something that we're missing and you want to come on and talk about it and clear your name, the door is wide open. You pick a time and place and we'll be there and we'll be more than happy to give you that format to basically tell us that anything we've said isn't true.
I love it. A Skye Prince debate. Skye, yes. We're waiting for the debate. Dear, we're waiting for this debate. We've heard your stories. You've lied to tens of thousands, if not millions of people already, I believe. I would love to have this debate because I'm trying to get to the brass tacks of really what's going on and what you're doing. And it would be better to have a debate or a forum instead of you just speaking to the world as if you're a part of the International Space Organization and you're a part of the military. I would like to know a little bit more about this and why you're using our photos as your so-called military medbed now. So with that being said, thank you guys all once again for joining our podcast. And until next time, stay healthy and stay well. We'll talk to you guys again soon. Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much, Sean.
Hey, John.
We'll chat again here soon
All right,
too.
take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.